downtown, 35 minutes. Stevenson, 33 minutes from the Veterans Memorial Tollway to Lakeshore Drive. Bryant, 14 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 11 minutes, I-80 to the Verge. Bishop, 410. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Partly sunny today, high 55. Partly cloudy tonight, low 30. Partly sunny tomorrow, the high 58. Clouds are breezy on Sunday, the high at 47. AccuWeather's Minutecast has expanded to 4 hours. Download the app today. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
39 at O'Hare, next news 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. President Biden's first primetime address since being inaugurated focused on the commemorating the one-year anniversary of the beginning of the shutdown of the country, which persists mainly because of President Biden and his fellow travelers. But Biden suggesting how much progress we've made since he's taken office.
When I took office 50 days ago, only 8% of Americans, after months, only 8% of those over the age of 65 had gotten their first vaccination. Today, that number is 65%. Just 14% of Americans over the age of 75 50 days ago had gotten their first shot. Today, that number is well over 70%.
Mm-hmm. In September of last year, on the campaign trail, President Biden, then candidate Biden, said, "Let me be clear, I trust vaccines, I trust scientists, but I don't trust Donald Trump, and at this moment, the American people can't either." Well, 8% were vaccinated when I took office from vaccines that I didn't believe would exist until I took office.
Yeah, and President Trump ordered 800 million vaccines while it was being approved by the FDA.
So the big announce was all adults eligible to be vaccinated no later than May 1. And then when they do, how can we live?
And meet my goal that I stated at the same time, about 100 million shots, of opening a majority of K through 8 schools in my first 100 days in office. And in the coming weeks, we will issue further guidance on what you can and cannot do once fully vaccinated, to lessen the confusion, to keep people safe, and encourage more people to get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you can and cannot do, well, you better hop to it because the train has left the station on that, and you're not on it. The Rangers are going to have 40,000 people at opening day. So
full capacity, yeah. And also, too, he said, we got to listen to the Fauci, man.
The scientists have made clear that things may get worse again as new variants of the virus spread. We've got work to do to ensure that everyone has confidence in the safety and effectiveness of all 3 vaccines. So my message to you is this. Listen to Dr. Fauci, one of the most distinguished and trusted voices in the world. He's assured us the vaccines are safe. They underwent rigorous scientific review.
Well, if I just have to listen to Dr. Fauci, then why do I have you? Why do we need a president? So if we listen to the president, if we listen to Dr. Fauci, and the president is listening to Dr. Fauci, then come Independence Day, maybe you can have a burger with mom and dad.
But I need you, the American people. I need you. I need every American to do their part. And that's not hyperbole. I need you. I need you to get vaccinated when it's your turn and when you can find an opportunity. And to help your family, your friends, your neighbors get vaccinated as well. Because here's the point. If we do all this, if we do our part, if we do this together, by July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together in your backyard or in your neighborhood and have a cookout and a barbecue and celebrate Independence Day. That doesn't mean large events with lots of people together, but it does mean small groups will be able to get together.
And it'll begin to mark our independence from the virus. See what he did there? Yeah.
It's just 3.5 months to fire up the grill. Just 3.5 months to fire up the grill. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Bret Baier, Fox News anchor, of course, special report, 5 p.m. Chicago time during the week. #1 best-selling author of 3 Days at the Brink, FDR's Daring Gamble to Win World War II. Bret, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
So Ned Lamont is opening up Connecticut, removing caps on churches and restaurants as of March 19th. Got word that Governor Walz in Minnesota is opening up that state. I mean, those are two Dem governors. I mean, is Joe Biden a little bit behind the times, this sort of illusion of control? Everybody is moving at his pace at the state level?
Yeah, I think that those are perfect examples how the states are saying we've got to open up. We have got to move this forward. And, you know, that phrasing that he uses, after you get the vaccine, we can tell you what you can and cannot do. Well, that's just not the phrasing that feels, you know, American. And people, you can provide, the CDC can provide guidance, and they can say what to do by their, you know, guidance, but can or cannot seems a little different. And I also think you're right. He could have given us all that was done to find the vaccine, not in 5 years, but within 1 year. And, you know, he didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, also, if you get vaccinated if you get your second vaccination within 3 to 4 weeks, you should be free. And you're not going to be spreading the virus to anybody else. So I don't know why we have to wait until the 4th of July, or is that just more hyperbole and a play on words because Independence Day, independence from the virus?
Yeah, maybe. I think that they're very cautious about all of this. And you're right. I mean, the message is to get the vaccine, to get both vaccines, take your time, make sure you get it, do it as soon as you can, because then you can get together with 5 friends in your backyard and still wear masks. That's not exactly the messaging. The messaging should be we're making our way towards normality. And I don't know. It does seem just interesting how this has kind of progressed. I think some of those governors are realizing that they need businesses to come back, and schools especially, to get back.
Well, also, too, I mean, this whole, you know, by July 4th, you can have a barbecue in the backyard, a small one. I mean, on, you know, the first week of April, opening day, I mentioned the Rangers are going to be at capacity, even in places where you have real COVID enthusiasts, real lockdowners like Chicago. I mean, Cubs and Sox are at 20% capacity. It's, you know, 8,000 people. I mean, but everybody will get a vaccine by May 1, and then you can 2 months later have a barbecue in your backyard with your family. It just, the whole thing is disconnected, and it reeks of we're clinging to this as long as we can because, I don't know, there's some political benefit to doing so.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, the critics who say that, I think, have a lot of info to, and I think that his characterization of the $1.9 trillion relief bill was a little disingenuous. I mean, if you break it all down, what is in this bill is less about a COVID relief plan than it is about big structural changes to pensions, to state and local governments that are getting pretty much bailed out by the federal government. Now, there is some COVID relief in there, and there's significant things, but a lot of it is about, you know, a wish list that Democrats really wanted to get to, and they are now calling it the most progressive bill in history.
Yeah, I mean, yes, right. I mean, stipulated. That's a very good summation. Going back to the, you know, central planners are going to central plan. That's what they do. So what are they trying to buy time for? It just seems the question that comes to mind. And I wonder if, they're not ready with the vaccine passport business. They're not ready to roll out where you're going to need your, your biometric vaccination card in order to access. And they don't want people to go back and live their lives pre-pandemic and think everything's fine. They want to have people still be, they would say vigilant, I would say afraid. And they haven't put together everything they need to put together for the next mandate, this vaccine passport, if you will.
Yeah, I think that the numbers on the vaccine are going to, the virus are going to change people's dynamic. As these governors see these numbers going down and hospitalizations are really low and deaths, really come off, they're just going to have a population that is ready to go, that is pent up. And if the bureaucracy is not ready for they've got next, the people are going to be there first, and I think that some of these Democratic governors are realizing that as it comes to schools and businesses.
Speaking of Democratic governors, what's the money line on Andrew Cuomo surviving his term?
I just think this last accuser and the allegations changed the dynamic. Not that the other ones weren't serious, but it does seem like it ratcheted. If you look in the big picture, add that to the nursing home controversy, I think when you reach critical mass with Democratic lawmakers for resignation or impeachment, and impeachment that's moving forward, I think the over-under starts going up.
And now we're learning that, Cuomo administration, they ordered group homes for the intellectually and developmentally disabled to accept COVID patients, and 552 people died from COVID because of that action alone. So that's, new information that I hope the mainstream media picks up on today.
They're starting to do that story more. I think it has been crowded out largely by the allegations about sexual harassment and this latest one, the sixth accuser. But I do think that the nursing home issue could potentially, in the long run, be bigger legally for Governor Cuomo.
I love a good fight among media types, just like the next guy. But Taylor Lorenz is particularly despicable in my view. So I want to get your comment on her and the New York Times feeling compelled to issue a statement against Tucker Carlson in response to his criticism of Taylor Lorenz for playing the victim on the occasion of International Women's Day, which is, by the way, sort of a communist-inspired day. I don't know why we celebrate that here, but that's a digression. The New York Times, in a now familiar move, Tucker Carlson opened his show by attacking a journalist. It was a calculated and cruel tactic which he regularly deploys to unleash a wave of harassment and vitriol at his intended target. Taylor Lorenz is a talented New York Times journalist doing timely and essential reporting. Journalists should be able to do their jobs without facing harassment. What they mean is journalists should be able to do their jobs without facing criticism, because Tucker Carlson was just criticizing her for playing the victim, particularly because this is the same Taylor Lorenz, in case people forget, who accused Mark Andreessen, billionaire VC entrepreneur, of using a racial slur that he never used. And then she sort of, I regret the error, kind of, and moved beyond it. So it's okay for Taylor Lorenz to accuse somebody of, the most vicious accusation you can accuse somebody of in 21st century America, using a racial slur, and try and end his career, his wildly successful career as a VC capital, and then just wave it off. But she's criticized for, her whining on Twitter by Tucker Carlson is emblematic of the victimhood mentality, and now the New York Times has to marshal all the troops to defend her.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's Tucker stirs the pot clearly, and he makes people's heads explode. I haven't followed all of the back and forth, but I know that this culture that we're in now, this back and forth, everybody is reacting to everything, and it does become its own animal as opposed to the dealing with the major issues that we have to deal with. So I focus on, my show and trying to get the news out. Tucker does what he does, but it is quite interesting. I think our time is different. I think people react differently, especially with social media kind of supercharging everything.
Yeah, it's just this. You're in the public arena. You can throw some punches, but you can expect some punches to be thrown too. I mean, is that norm that complicated?
It used to be. Now it's. I don't know. It's very strange. I mean, it's a different time and how people react to things.
Yeah, just ask the banjoist from Mumford & Sons. Bret Baier, Fox News anchor, number one best-selling author, Fox News anchor special report, weekdays 5 p.m. Chicago time. Number one best-selling author of 3 Days at the Brink, FDR's Daring Gamble to Win World War II. Bret, thanks as always.
We'll see you guys.
Thank you, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is